11 life paths and everyone else, welcome to today's video. I haven't done this type of video for quite a while now, and I felt the need today to do this video. And the reason why I'm doing this video today is to remind you that you are a leader and you're not a follower. We live in very strange times. We live in times where there's a lot of disruption. There is a timeline shift. We're moving into a higher timeline. We're going from Kali Yuga to Sat Yuga. Okay, so there's a huge transition that's happening right now. But the thing is that sometimes we get so distracted with what the herd is saying that we forget that we're in Maya. That everything that you see, everything that you hear is not what it really is. And since we get into Maya, when you follow the masses, in the vast majority of cases, the masses will lead you astray. Now, I want you to know, as an 11 life path, you're here to pave a path. You're here to make a transition. You're not here to follow people's groups. You're not here to follow people's lead. You're not here to be very honest, I'm going to be very blunt with you guys. I'm going to try to. But you're not even here to fuel the system. This is why a lot of you guys have been feeling drained, doing things that you don't really want to do, or waking up to go to a place which you don't want to really go to. Because you know inherently that's not your call. That's not something you want to do. That's not something that you were made to do. So it gets real. It gets very. See, the thing is, a lot of people will not understand a master number energy because a lot of people are not master numbers. You know what I mean? It is pretty rare to actually be a master number. And when you are a master number, you've just done this way too many times. You've done this way too many times. But the thing is, I'm going to tell you guys on a very real note that no matter even if you are a master number, like obviously you will have all these qualities within you that you're going to exert into the real world. But if you operate from your lower carnal fleshly points where you're extremely attached to the deception or to the ego, you're extremely attached to the ego, where you're thinking to yourself, you're like, what if I do this? What is that person going to say if I do that? See, the thing with being a master number is you just go. You just do your thing. You legit just do your thing. And that's what it is. Now, as 11s, you know we're very emotional people. It is what it is. Like, I'm going to say it how it is. We are very emotional people. A lot of times, we let our emotions get to us, what people say to us, what people think of us, like all this shit. It has to be transmuted. And I never said let go. You don't have to let go of this because honestly, your emotions are very powerful. They're very powerful, but it all depends on if you know how to transmute this. Okay, now let's talk a little bit about 2025. Year of the Snake, 9 universal year. In my opinion, I feel like you're going to see a lot of things ending. And when I mean ending, when I mean completion, you will most likely see that all the old habits you have, you want to let them go now. You want to permanently put an end to these things that you might not be in resonance with. Because if you're not in resonance with this frequency, you just got to let it go. And the 9 year is to let it go. It could be people. I'm going to tell you something right now. For a lot of us, it's the people around us. It's not, and honestly, it's not even your enemies. If I'm gonna be honest, your enemies are probably like helping you more than a lot of your friends, and the word "end" is in friend for a reason. I'm just gonna keep it how it is. This year, look, every time a snake year comes, something major happens. Okay, 2001, we know what happened. We got the Patriot Act coming in the United States of America. Before that, we had different events happening, but in the snake year, society gets reformed, and it's kind of it's all synchronized how the nine and the snake year are here. So like they kind of represent the same thing in an aspect, because the nine is like the end of shedding your skin, and the snake sheds its skin. So that's what's going on now. To be honest with you guys, if you've noticed, or if you haven't noticed, I haven't been posting a lot. You probably noticed I'm a dog, born near the dog, and I was in a dragon year. And oh boy, did this year rock my world. I had major things come up this year, but I got through it. I knew I was going into a clashing sign. I was going into a dragon year, and I had a feeling of what's coming. I had a feeling of what's coming. And I went into this year very prepared and very accordingly, and it still rocked my world. It still really did. It still really did. So now, if you're born 1995, the year of the pig is coming up. Now, here's what I'm gonna say. If you're born year of the pig, know, the snake is your clashing sign. And we're about to hit the year of the snake right on the 29th. The 28th is going to be the last day of the year of the dragon. If you're a dragon, I'm telling you, I was talking to a girl about her music video. She's a dragon. I told her, I'm like, keep going hard. And one of her videos blew up on TikTok, right before the dragon year. And what happened in California right before the dragon year ends? Look at what happens in California, the dog state. And if you were following me before, I talked about how if you live in California, you might want to get out. But people, the thing with people is that a lot of people don't take shit seriously until they start observing patterns, until they start seeing how things actually work, right? So, I'm not here to blame people, but it is what it is. Now, here's the funny part. The city in California is called Palisades, I think, right? Guess what? That city got hit the hardest. Now, that specific city was founded in 1922, which is the year of the dog. See, like, when you keep seeing these patterns, like, it becomes very obvious to what's happening. Now, I don't want to get too deep into this type of numerology at the moment because, to be very honest, numerology, to me, I look at it as a leverage. Okay. Now, you don't let the leverage control you, but you steer. You steer through. Now, here's the thing I want to talk about. I mostly talk about 11 life paths and other master numbers too. Now, as 11s, we're going into a 9 universal year. Now, I have a very big feeling, very, very big feeling that everything's going to turn around. Everything is going to be actually getting very, very, very amazing this year, right? And the reason why I say that, not just because Donald Trump is coming in, right? I feel like April, we might have a market hit. We might get a proper hit in the market, okay? We might get a proper hit around March or April, but after that, I think we're going on our way up with the markets, okay? But the reason why I'm saying that this year, I feel like is going to be the turning point for a lot of people is because People are waking up. If you haven't noticed, people are waking up. Okay, people are searching for the truth. People are kind of fed up of being lied to all the time, from the news, the media, from everything. And I'm gonna tell you guys how it is. Okay, bro. If you're there are certain things like we all gotta watch out for. We all got now. If you were on one of my lives, and if you come on my lives, I do like I put a lot of knowledge and I do entertain a lot. Okay, but if you're on my lives, that day I was doing knowledge and entertainment, and I showed you guys that cheese that I was trying to burn. Okay, now, bro, understand that a lot of the food that we have in North America is completely modified. Okay, it's completely genetically modified. Okay, and it's not even food. It's not what your body wants. Your body does not want that. Now I tried to burn the cheese, and the cheese turned completely black. Okay, it burnt and it turned black. That's not how cheese. That's not what happens to real cheese. If you try to burn cheese, it's supposed to melt. It's not supposed to turn black. Okay, that's what happened to the cheese, and I smelled so many chemicals. I'm like, what? I'm like, what on earth is going on here? But I already know this. Okay, take care of yourself. Take care of yourself, because in the end of the day, you are a master number. Okay, and even if you're not a master number and you're watching this, because I know there's other numbers that watch this too, remember that your body is the portal. Okay, now one thing I want to say is I've noticed 11s have a lot of innocence in them. I've noticed this, like a very childlike innocence. I've noticed this with every 11. Every 11 I know has a very childlike innocence in them. And a lot of us are very wise. A lot of us know a lot of things. But what ends up happening is that we end up letting people influence us that not necessarily all the time have the best interest for us. And it could be many different people, especially with the advent of technology right now. Okay, but here's what I'm gonna say: you were never ever you were the type of person, and you know this too, and this is why you secretly like to be alone a lot of time. I've always said, I'm like, 11 is the real loner number. 11 is that number that really actually likes to be alone. We really love our own company a lot more than even sevens. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, because we're very introspective. We like to sit with our thoughts and examine our thoughts and look at cyclical patterns that we might be repeating. Okay, so as an 11, I feel like when you give yourself too much idle time, okay, you start becoming influenced by groups, and you were never meant to follow like a group, you know. You really weren't. You really weren't. Okay, be careful of that. Just be very careful. You know, you don't have to follow. You can start your own thing. You can do your own thing. You know, pave your own path. Be a leader. Now, this doesn't mean to not study, to become arrogant, to think that you're better than other people. That's exactly the opposite of what I'm talking about. What I mean is, you don't have to associate yourself with what they say about you. Okay. It doesn't seem different, but if you're in the know, you know there's a thin line to what I'm talking about. Okay. Like it says in the Bible, be in this world but not of this world, because you're going to get decimated if you try to attach yourself too much to people, to places, to organizations, to things. And especially if you let other people, and I don't mean like, look, I'm not talking about leading in the sense of where you become so arrogant that you don't even want to learn. Listen, people that think they know it all usually don't know it all. Okay, so we're always open to learning. It's not what it is. This is exactly what I mean. We have that innocence. But what I'm saying over here is that there's a fine line between learning and then there's people that are simply, just know what I'm saying. Just know what I'm saying. All that being said, I'm gonna start coming with more videos. You know, I'm gonna start teaching people a lot of numerology very soon. A lot of numerology. Remember, everything is enumerated in numbers. The simulation is enumerated in numbers. It actually blows my mind away to see how many numbers I see on a very perpetual basis, and the transitioning numbers, the personal year numbers, and there's so many different numbers, but obviously your life path is the most important. The people that you meet, to another thing is, I'm going to talk about a little bit about relationships and I'm going to end it. When you meet other people, understand that there's a cyclical pattern that's being played when you meet other people. Okay, if you pay close attention, there is a pattern in the birthdays. And another thing that I'm going to talk about very soon is your expression number. That's actually, man, sometimes like the type of things, the type of patterns I see, I'm like, I'm amazed. But anyways, all that being said, people, have yourself a wonderful day, night, evening, wherever you are.